Well, real nice pair of sheep here to start the morning out again. I like the young ladies, you here up front. I think one that's a notch smoother in terms of her shoulder, a bit more feminine up front. Certainly like that about her. I think what separates the two a little bit for me as well is when I part a fleece. I think she reads just a nickel more finer in terms of her wool and consistent there from shoulder on back to the britch. Certainly like the young man's though in terms of turn to her forerib. Might be even just a notch stouter in terms of her kind, but a sheep there that I don't think quite has the fineness of the one ahead of it. An awfully nice pair of ewe lambs to start out here. Congratulations.
Results of Class 108. In second place, Levi Reichman from Julesburg, Colorado. And in first place, his sister Caitlin Reichman from Julesburg, Colorado. And they will also be champion and reserve champion in the Rambouillet U class. Thank you. Class 109 is the next in the ring. That's Other Wool Breeds, ewe lamb. Entering the ring at this time is Class 109, Other Wool Breeds, ewe lamb. We have 5 on the books. Callie Bradley, Molly Connolly, and Claire Rowan is who we're missing in this class. Are they here today? Callie Bradley, Molly Connolly, Claire Rowan. Your class is in the ring. If you are looking for that edge in the show ring, consider the new Blue Ribbon Super Blocking Blade from Andis. Designed for competition with cattle fitting expert Kirk Steerwalt, the Andis Blue Ribbon Super Blocking Blade delivers a new level of performance with improved hair feed and clean show-stopping lines. Stop by your authorized Andis dealer and see it today.
Another nice class here. I think the U will start out with over here, the natural on this end, one that certainly owns the advantage in terms of just sheer performance within this class. She's opened up through her front 1/3, but still has, looks like a lady up front, one that when you get your hands on her certainly isn't disappointing underneath her wool, and has a nice fleece to complement that. Might even prefer, though, the fleece here on the sheep in second, one that's maybe a notch softer when you part it, one that still I'd certainly appreciate from the side and is genuine in terms of what she has underneath, just not quite as much compared to the sheep we have there in front of the class. And then the white sheep here in third, one again that I like in terms of her fleece, but a sheep that's given up quite a bit in terms of weight per day of age here, one that's not quite as stout at the ground. Certainly appreciate that one though for what she has. Congratulations.
Results of Class 109. In third place, Kernion Simmons, Bear River, Wyoming. Second place, Cooper Sanchez, Bear River, Wyoming. And the winner is Blair Sanchez, Bear River, Wyoming. First and second will also be champion in reserve and other wool breeds. And now we need the first and seconds to come back out to compete against the first and second in the Rambouillets for Champion U. Champion U lamb is the next in the ring. We need first and second of the last class and first and second of the first class to come back in for Champion U. What? Next in will be the yearling ewes. Yearling ewes in the wool division, class 110, next in the ring.
Now, four really nice ewe lambs, I think, out here that that each represent their breeds collectively very strong in terms of the wool that they have on them, in terms of the structure underneath them as well. For me, there's two sheep though that combine having some quality on a fleece though, with some genuine width underneath and some stoutness there. I'll go ahead and use the two Cotswolds for champion and reserve.
Those are both Sanchez's. Your champion reserve wool ewe lamb goes to the Sanchez's in Bear River, Wyoming. Next in is yearling ewes, class 110, 110 yearling ewes next in the ring. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now. And remember, nothing runs like a Deere.
Well, I like these yearling ewes we've got out here again. Start out with the sheep here. That's she's got my favorite fleece on her out here, and when I get my hands on her, one that doesn't disappoint. She's not the biggest, the broodiest one in here, but one that I think is really strong for what she represents right there. The ewe we'll have down here in second, one that in reserve champion, one that's certainly probably a little more eye-catching from the side, one that's just a little rounder in terms of her rib shape, maybe even more honest in her condition. But a sheep that when I get my hands on her maybe doesn't quite have the fleece of what our class winner champion ewe right ahead of her does. And comparing that then to the ewe here in third, certainly I think from the side, one that's just a little bit more feminine, a little bit more ladylike in terms of her kind, and I do prefer that one's fleece she has on her. The ewe here in third's obviously the broody one of the lineup, but would like to alter a few things about her in terms of how her front end's put together a little bit, as well as some consistency goes as far as her fleece, but really good productive view there to round out the class.
Results of the yearling ewes. In third place, Cooper Sanchez, Bear River, Wyoming. Second and reserve, Blair Sanchez, Bear River, Wyoming. And first and champion, Kiernan Simmons, Bear River, Wyoming. And that concludes our junior class. We are now moving into the open class, and we will start with the Columbias. Open class Columbias next in the ring. In the ring at this time is Class 101, Open Division, Columbia Ram Lamb, under a year of age. Next in is Pair. It'll be the same animals. And then champion and reserve champion, which will be the same animals. So we'll do it all right now.
A good pair here of Columbias to start out with. Sheep I appreciate open up. They've got a nice white fleece on the inside. We'll go ahead and start with the one here that shows just a little bit more growth in terms of his future. One that's got more height to shoulder. I like the way his neck comes out up high. And a sheep that is honest enough when you get underneath the wool, I think. Maybe pound for pound in terms of relative to size. A sheep here in second. One that's a notch stouter in terms of his kind. Certainly like that about him. Maybe a nickel softer there in terms of his fleece, but one that's given up just a little bit of scale, one that's given up some future growth, I think. Awfully nice pair of ram lambs that complement each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, results of Class 101. In second place, Tanya Hammer, Hammer Livestock, Pinedale, Wyoming, which will also be the reserve champion. And your first place animal and champion ram is Tanya Hammer, Hammer Livestock, Pinedale, Wyoming. Also we'll have the first place pair. Okay. Next in is Class 104, ewe lamb under a year of age. Class 104, ewe lambs under a year of age.
A good pair of Columbias here. I like the ewe up here in front to start with. One that I think underneath her wool's a nickel more genuine in terms of her width. A little more stoutness of foot and bone there at the ground, and still smooth up front. Certainly like that. Both of them as a pair have some of the better Columbia crimp I've seen on some sheep here as of late. But I would give the advantage here to the ewe in second. One I think's a nickel finer, maybe nickel more distinct in terms of her crimp when you open up a fleece. But a sheep there that maybe doesn't quite have as much in terms of her pin set, not as much width over her loin as compared to the one ahead of her. But a nice pair of ewes.
Results of Class 104. In second place, Tanya Hammer, Hammer Livestock, Pinedale, Wyoming. And in first place, which will be also your champion, is Tanya Hammer, Hammer Livestock, Pinedale, Wyoming. Now in the ring is Lamb Flock. Ram lamb, 2 ewe lambs. First in the ring is Ram, 1 year old and under 2 in the Cordell division. Class 113. Superior Farms is proud to help sponsor the National Western Stock Show. We invite you to see more about how we help family farms. See the video at superiorfarms.com.
Well, a good Cordell Ram here to represent the breed. I think maybe one to upgrade him could be just a notch stouter, a notch more masculine in his kind, but I think his fleece makes up for it. One that's extremely, extremely good in terms of his crimp and super bright and white when you open it up. I think that one's got a lot of use to him in a breeding program.
First in that class and also champion Ram in the Cordell division goes to Eric Wellman from Hamilton, Colorado. Next in is class 116, Cordell U, 1 year old and under 2.
A real good pair of Cordales here. You will start out with one that I think right off the bat obviously has quite a bit more in terms of volume to her, a little bit more Springer rib on this one, stoutness in terms of her foot and bone when you get your hands on her as well. Certainly like that one's fleece is quite a bit also. The ewe here in second, one that's definitely on the finer side for some Cordales. Really like the distinctness of crimp that one has. Maybe not quite as long stapled, maybe not quite as much underneath the wool as what the one ahead of her has. An awfully nice pair.
Class 116, Eric Wellman, Hamilton, Colorado. Second, Eric Wellman, Hamilton, Colorado first. That will also be your champion pair. Now in best pair, one ram, one ewe. One ram, one ewe will come in. That's class 118 for champion pair. Champion pair also goes to Eric Wellman from Hamilton, Colorado. Sullivan Supply Stock Show University is trusted by champions nationwide. Thanks to them, all of the livestock shows are webcasted live through nationalwestern.com, and they sponsor our Livestock Media Scholar program. Sullivan Supply, the innovative leader in livestock grooming supplies. Next in the ring will be the Rambouillet division. Rambouillet division will be the next one in the ring. And we will start with Ram Lamb. I don't think... In the ring is class 131, Rambouillet Ram Lamb, under a year of age. Levi and Caitlin Reichman from Julesburg, Colorado. are showing both of the ram lambs. If you are looking for that edge in the show ring, consider the new Blue Ribbon Super Blocking Blade from Andis. Designed for competition with cattle fitting expert Kirk Steerwalt, the Andis Blue Ribbon Super Blocking Blade delivers a new level of performance with improved hair feed and clean show-stopping lines. Stop by your authorized Andis dealer and see it today.
Yes. A good pair here. I think in terms of their fleeces, for me the difference is when you turn them to the side. The sheep that we'll use here for Champion, one that hooks up quite a bit stronger right behind his shoulder, more relaxed in terms of his spine. Certainly appreciate that about him. A sheep that for his size probably also has a notch more volume to him. Young ladies here in reserve, one that I think's a nickel square in terms of his back wheels, one that's maybe a bit square right there in terms of his pin set, but wants to get just a little off right behind his shoulder. Like that pair is a nice compliment to each other.
Results of Class 131. In second place, Caitlin Reichman, Julesburg, Colorado, and first place and champion will be Levi Reichman, Julesburg, Colorado. They will also have the first place pair and the champion and reserve champion, Rambouillet Ram Lamb, or Ram. Next in is ewe lamb under a year. Ewe lambs, Rambouillet ewe lambs under a year. That is Class 134. Next in the ring. Coming in the ring are ewe lambs under a year of age, Class 134, ewe lambs under a year of age.